yes just written around you. Some people put it on Post-its and put it up on your walls and just having yes around you. Just having that essence and that energy of yes inside of you. So for a moment, let's go. Yes. Yes. Keep going. Yes. 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 One more time. Yes. Good. All right. Very well. By the way, when we celebrate each other in here, when people do shares, you can either celebrate them with a round of applause. So let's try that. Round of applause. Or we can blow them a kiss, Italian style, which looks like this. Mwah. So let's blow our slide progressor, Nicole, a big kiss. Mwah. Beautiful. All right, let's get down. Let's boogie. Everybody boogie in your seats. Boogie. Good. Whip out your pieces of paper, whoosh, and your pen, boom, because we're going to start the knowledge. All right, so here's the difference that made all the difference once I learned this. Now remember, I used to be a therapist, and they really didn't get into it with us in school around this. Your results in your life, like where you live, how much money you make, how many customers you have, what your relationships are like, who you attract into your life, what your health is like. About 5 to 10% of that is determined by your conscious mind. Your education, what you learn, the tools, the skills. 90 to 95% of that is determined by your subconscious mind and all the patterns that are stored in your subconscious mind. Now that's a lot, right? That's a big difference. Turn to your neighbor and say, that's pretty big. So that's like having a semi, right? And you've got like 20 wheels on the semi. And like 18 wheels are turned this way. That's your subconscious mind. And your little two-wheel conscious mind is turned this way towards your goal of having, 50 new customers in the next year. Now, are you going to end up going over there towards your 50 new customers, or are you going to end up going over here? Which way? That way. Because all the wheels, the majority of them, are pointing in that direction. That's what your subconscious mind does. It will derail you from your goals if all of your subconscious bits, if you can call them that, aren't aligned with your goals. So, the inner game versus the outer game. Here's a metaphor that I like to use that works really well for people to grasp how these two things go together. So the outer game is like the conscious mind education. These are like the tools. So think of power tools. This is like the, I don't know why power tools suddenly look like guns and robots came out that way. So power tools, and so that's the conscious mind education. The inner game. Think of that as the power. Think of that as the power that makes those tools work. The energy. That's how you plug it in. That's how you plug in all those conscious mind tools. So the path to success becomes pretty darn simple. Number one, clear out your subconscious blocks so all those wheels are pointed in the direction of your goal. And then two, get the conscious mind education that you need to succeed with your goals so that your conscious mind is on board as well, because you need both of them on board. What do you need? Thank you. So, let's dive into family entanglements. Now, I'm going to be pretty zippy with the morning education because I want to be able to dive in and have time for all the work, because today we're going to be doing a large group session, and then we're going to break up and everybody's going to do a personal session in the afternoon after lunch. Does that sound good? Yes? Yeah. Beautiful. All right, so that's fine. So entanglements. Think of entanglements as problems and patterns that are passed down from generation to generation. Problems and patterns that are passed down from generation to generation. For some of you, and people report this to me, some of you, it feels like you have a 1-ton weight on your back, and some people actually feel weighted down. Some of you that are very sensitive or have a very kinesthetic experience of life might notice that you feel this. How many of you feel that you sometimes can feel that weight pushing down on you? All right, tuned in. Thank you. Beautiful. Ha-ha! Nicole, please stand. Let's give her a warm round of applause. Please grab that chair and take it on back with you. And Melanie right back there, who just flew to my house and blow her a big juicy kiss. Mwah! Thank you. Now some of you might be like poor little horsey here who has so much baggage in the back that he can't even get his feet on the ground. How many of you feel more like the horse in the picture? You already know. Some people already know that you have, like me, have a lot of stuff in your family tree that's weighing you down. And it can definitely be like this. You're not getting traction. You're trying to move forward and your feet aren't even touching the ground. And that can be a very visceral experience. So a little bit about the background of where this work comes from. Family entanglement work is a conglomerate of different aspects of work that I've pulled in from what I've studied over the years and brought into one modality. And it takes from family constellation work. Some of you that have seen family constellation work will recognize the floor pattern that I'm using. And that was originated by Bert Hellinger. And he insisted on proof. He wanted to see everything with his own eyes. He didn't care about theory. He didn't want to read it in a book. He wanted to do the work and see the results. And I feel exactly the same way about that. This work also comes from transactional analysis. Eric Berne, who is the father of transactional analysis, he gave us the concept of episcriptum. What's the word, please? Episcriptum. Thank you. Episcriptum is the familial subconscious. So it's not just us that has a singular subconscious. We're also plugged in to our familial subconscious, our family's subconscious. And I do it above me because I kind of imagine like that there's this big, like I'm the tree, right? And there's all the branches of the family tree. So I'm like mom, dad, grandparents, great-grandparents. So this family subconscious is like an information superhighway. And you're plugged into that on a subconscious level. So you're not necessarily conscious of the information you're receiving from it, but nonetheless you are receiving information and there's information going back and forth. He also gave us the concept of psychological scripts, which are patterns that are passed down from generation to generation. This work also takes from Virginia Satir. She gave us the concept of working intergenerationally. Because in psychology, a lot of times they would say, well, you grew up around your parents. So you're around their influence. So when we start looking at your patterns, we look at your parents' patterns. But where did your parents get it from? Their parents. You got it. Where did they get it from?
Their parents.
You got it. So now the picture is a lot bigger. And you need to start taking into account a lot more people than just your parents. She gave us that concept. Thank God she did. NLP, it also takes from NLP. Because I'm a master practitioner, I took the best of NLP and put it in this modality. And one of the things that I did is I infused it with childhood re-imprinting. So for every single session that we do today, there's going to be a family disentanglement and a childhood imprint in every session, blended in. Everybody like that? Say yes? Yeah. Awesome. So these patterns, these inherited patterns last for 7 generations. How many, please? 7. Beautiful. 7 generations. Now, the ones that are going to affect you the most are the last 3 generations. Your parents, your grandparents, and your great-grandparents. And that includes the aunts and uncles, great-aunts and uncles as well. Right, yeah. It includes your brothers and sisters even sometimes, too. And don't fret. A family entanglement starts, it doesn't hit everybody who gets born afterwards. It hits about 25 to 30 people. How many, please?
25 to 30.
Beautiful. 25 to 30 people before it fades out. And it skips. Just like genetic traits, it will skip people. Okay? Just like the red hair or the blue eyes skips around, it's the same thing. So let's talk about how these things get passed down through the generations. Do we have the beads, my dear Melanie? All right. If you can go in that box back there and grab the little tiny Monopoly money that's at the top. I need 3 men. I need 3 men. 3 men. I need 3 men. Who are my action takers in the room? Who are my action takers in the room? 3 men on the stage. 3 men. 3 men. Where's the action takers? Take action. Take action. Bring it up. Come on up. Action takers. Round of applause for our action takers. All right. I'm going to have you 2 switch places. Beautiful. All right. Here we go. Imagine that this is your grandfather. Hi, Grandpa. There we go. This is Grandpa. All right. So Grandpa, he lived through the Depression. Now, there are world events. There are societal events that can cause entanglement patterns to begin, depending on how the person reacts to that world event. Okay? So let's say, in this case example, we have the Depression. A lot of people lose money during the Depression, lost money. So here we have Grandpa. He was one of them. He lost the family savings, all of it, during the Depression, like many did. And what that does is it leaves a lasting imprint in the way that he feels and acts and behaves around money. It imprints his belief system around money. What are some of the beliefs that he might get newly imprinted because he lost all the family money? Just shout them out. Scarcity, thank you. Can't do anything about it.